Everyone, so I'm here with Drew and Josh, and we are talking to guys today. So, ladies, if you want to join in, you can, but we are speaking specifically to guys. They've got some pretty cool backstories of where they've been in life, things they've done, but then they've also felt like they needed to take action and start moving the world in a new direction. So, Drew and Josh, tell us about yourselves. Where have you been in life?
Where have we been? That's a great question. Well, quick background about me. We're both in southeastern Arizona, small community, and I have a background in sales, leading large sales teams. Had teams that were doing tens of millions in revenue, and reached a point a few years ago where I felt like I was successful on paper, but pretty empty inside. And have spent the last few years of my life trying to not trying to, but actually fixing that, and then in turn turning around and helping others find more fulfillment in their business and in their work. And I've done that, some of that has been with my partner Josh. We do real estate together, and we're launching this group, Rise Up Men. Really excited about it. Um, just want have a desire to help more men out there. I see a lot of men that felt like I did a few years ago. I'll let Josh speak a little bit to some of his feelings and why this is important to him. And we want to help men find more abundance in different areas of their life, their faith, their family, their fitness, their finances. And so I love helping people get those things, both personally and professionally. And we want to make a bigger impact, help more people do that.
Awesome.
So my name's Josh Tilley. My title, my social media title is the Coach's Coach, and I'm almost the exact opposite of Drew. I'm the yin to Drew's yang, but I was feeling like I was living a super meaningful life, and I was poor. Like I couldn't. I had cars that were breaking down often, living paycheck to paycheck, making a teacher's salary, and like life was good and my marriage was good and things were great, and I just didn't have the finances to be able to go do what I wanted to do or to provide for my family and even courses or lessons for my kids, and I couldn't provide. And I was at an event about 3 years ago where Jim Quick said there's a version of you that's patiently waiting, and that's kind of
Mhm.
my little calling cards that I say all the time, is because that phrase like jolted my soul, and it kind of just opened the possibilities of what could I do, and is it okay for me to desire a lifestyle where I can have some abundance financially. So anyway, that's that. Those next 3 years, it turned into starting a couple companies, buying into a couple companies, acquiring a company that just totally exploded. My revenue is 6 times what it was at that time in my life, and I'm now just super committed to living both of those. You have to be able to make money if you want to make a difference. One of a guy who we've been spending a ton of time with lately, he talks about MAD is his little acronym. If you want to make a difference, you still have to make a dollar. Otherwise, it won't tomorrow very long. So I'm super committed to helping youth and adults. Right now, we're focused on this group of men, helping men live an abundant life physically with their health, financially, like I have experienced in the last little while, with their family. We're both super committed to being a present father and being a leader in the home, and finances. That area has to be in line and in order. Otherwise, you're just limited. So anyway, that's what we're focused on, is helping men to live an abundant life, to rise up. So
So does that mean in order to do that, you're going to be helping all these guys start businesses? Is that what this is all about, or is it different than that?
We,
both.
we're going to push some people off the edge who've been who've been waiting for something to do that, and I don't think it necessarily means you have to do that either, right?
Yeah.
I think you can find abundance in areas of your life, and I'm not saying it's a 9 to 5. We're not saying a 9 to 5 is a bad thing at all.
I kept mine, by the way. I still teach. Like I didn't stop teaching. That usually you hear that, stop the 9 to 5 and start your own business. I still have my 9 to 5 and have done those businesses on the side of that. And I think you got to go where your heart wants, where your heart desires, and there's still got to be a way to provide. So
I
some
love it.
people, the number of times me and Drew have pushed each other off of a ledge when we could see what was needed, and sometimes it was stay, and sometimes it was you got to jump, and we're excited to help other men do the same thing.
Yeah, I love how you've got 4 different categories that you're focusing on because one person could be wildly successful in one, lacking in the other, and it's kind of like a lopsided wheel. You're just going to be clunking along in life rather than really have that smooth ride throughout the world. And I was it Jim Rohn that talks. So I think it might have been Jim. I might be mixing it up, but I think he talks about how people can work, but the work they do doesn't necessarily mean that's how they make their money too. And so you can keep that job if that is a major fulfillment for you, but you can also do other things that are going to bring in revenue by providing services to people. So I love that concept where we've got 2 very different backstories, 2 people who have done so much in the world and found that these 4 pillars or these 4 categories work for both of you, even though you're coming at it from totally different directions.
And I'll just add, I think I mentioned uh, finances twice. I don't want to forget the most important one, the faith aspect. Me and Drew are both super interested, committed to, and intentional about faith. And I used to say um, God or the universe to be more inclusive, and I've stopped saying that. I'll just say God, and if that isn't for everyone, that's okay. But my faith in God is the reason why all of this has been able to happen. I feel like when I heard that phrase, there's a version of you patiently waiting. I felt like it was God tapping me on the shoulder. It wasn't just, I don't know what else it might have been. It was God saying, I'm talking to you. There's more inside of you that I created you to be and created you to impact, and I will help you move. So let's move together.
Got it. So we're almost up to Christmas, and then right after Christmas is the new year, right? And everyone sets their New Year's goals and New Year's resolutions. So is this a New Year's thing? Or what's this look like? Is it a program? Is it a group? What do you guys offer to men that are looking to level up and find a more balanced life?
The word that comes to my mind, and we could probably describe it a lot of different ways, but I view it as like an experience. I want men to have a different experience. In fact, one thing I was texting Josh about this weekend that I've recognized is the times where I've seen the most progress in my life have come when I've had to get really uncomfortable and get out of a comfortable space, a comfortable zone. I've had to move and change my environment. And so if you want to change things drastically in your life, you have to also drastically change your environment. You can't live the same routine, do life the same way. And so some of that will be like, hey, having weekly calls, getting one-on-one support, having in-person experiences, like getting out of the routine you're currently in and creating a new one so that you can do that. I'm kind of like anti goals for New Year's just for the sake of setting a goal for New Year.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're looking for some New Year goals, we're launching this at the beginning of January.
Yeah,
So
I think leveraging the new year is great. It can't be the end all be all, but we are close to the time. And if you need a great excuse to get moving, yes, this group is going to start the second week of January. And the intention is that 2026 is the greatest year you've ever have ever had in those 4 areas. And if you need something, someone, a group to help you do that, we've both been part of a lot of different groups. We both have spent 6 figures in the last 2 years in our own personal development and with groups and mentors. And we want to create this experience to help people absolutely transform and explode their lives.
I love it. So how do people find out about, or where do they go? What do they do if this is of interest?
Yeah, so I'll put a link on this once we wrap up, but let me pull. If I'm going to make sure I'm reading this back to you right, so I don't say it wrong.
You don't
Because
want to send someone to some Chinese shoe selling website, right?
that's right. Yeah. So if you go up to the riseupmen.com, and then I think it's Rise Up Men webinar, but there's dashes between Rise Up Men webinar. That's why I said we'll put a link in the comment in the notes below if someone wants to check this out afterwards. We're doing a webinar tonight where we're going to dive into and spend an hour, maybe a little longer, breaking down why this is so important to us and kind of going over what's going to be included, what somebody gets, why they'd want to be a part of this next year. So yeah, we'll share that link though. So if someone wants to register and join us tonight, they can.
Perfect. Yeah, that'd be great. And so if someone wanted to just reach out and get more information, how would they find you online too?
We're both easy to get a hold of on social media. Drew Norton, my social media handles under the Everyday Sales Leader. You can find me on just about every platform. Josh Tilley, the coach's coach.
Yeah, mine's Instagram is the best way for me, and it's the coach's coach with dashes in between the and coach's coach. But yeah, we'll both pop up. We're both really active on those platforms, and would love to send you a link or communicate more, ask some questions. But I am really excited about this webinar tonight. We held an event last week on Thursday. We had 27 people come, and of those 27, we had 11 that quickly signed up for this webinar, wanting to know more. And so tonight it won't be a real pressure situation, but we want to let people know this is available right here, right now. And we are going to do something incredible with the people that want to join us. So it will be a lot of the details of how do you get in, what does it look like, and what can you expect because of it. So we'd love to have anybody who sees this jump onto the webinar tonight.
Perfect. That sounds good. So what do you see as one of the biggest things that hold men back? Is it fear?
Um,
Or is it not knowing the direction they should go? Like what do you see that holds people back?
Well, let me speak for me first, because I can see what has been the big cause for me at times not to progress, and it's often been this feeling that I'm alone, that I have to do it on myself, and
Mm.
actually it's been I feel like I was programmed and taught like success comes from doing things on your own, and I've actually found it my success accelerates when I find aligned people that I work and do things with, whether that's partners in real estate, whether that's, I'm investing in a mentor or joining some group to learn from others and experience more, whether it's, getting a friend that'll pick you up in the morning to go to the gym. Like I am often doing so much more when I'm connected to other people. And I think we're living in a world where it's easy to feel connected with social media every day and actually be separated from people. And so having a place where men can get together and recognize like, hey, I'm not the only one working on this in my life. I'm not the only one who struggles with my faith at times, or I'm not the only one who feels like, hey, my health could be a lot better and I've got a lot of guilt and shame around that. But hey, that I don't have to do this all on my own, and there's other men striving to do these same things. And I'm going to show up more responsible, because when I commit and say I'm going to do something, I want to make sure next time I see these men, next time I see these guys, I can proudly say, yes, I'm doing the things I said I would do.
Love it.
So you mentioned fear, Jason. I don't think fear is one of the biggest problems, but I think it accompanies all the problems. Fear is a necessary buddy that we have to figure out how to overcome. But I think that the biggest reason why people are stuck or aimless, just drifting, is because they don't know who they are and they don't know why they are. So that's one of the frameworks that we've created inside this. And also I have a company called Culture of Champions, where I brought in some huge speakers, world-class speakers, professional athletes. Taysom Hill, Tim Tebow is one of my keynote speakers twice. Damon West, Dan Clark, just crazy speakers. And all of them were to try to help youth understand this idea of, if you don't know who you are, then you'll do what everyone else tells you. And so with my events and with this men's group, we're going to focus hard on who are you? What is your identity? Even helping everyone create um, like a document that says, this is who I am. And when you believe that, when you think it, when you say it, things start to change. And that fear is real, but you can set fear to the side, because I know who I am. And once I know who I am, now I can start looking at, okay, so if this is who I am, what am I being called to do? Either called by God or called by the market or called by my passions. But what is it that lights me up and makes me excited? Once I decide that, fear comes super hard, because if those things are aligned, you feel this inside of you, like, I need to do something about that. And by doing something, that's when you're going to start taking ridicule and judgment and all those things. and fear is very real, and it's okay. We just do it scared. So identity, purpose, and then to have a plan. And I think to Drew's point, once you have a plan, an idea, when you vocalize that with a group of people, you are so much more likely to start carrying out what that was that you wanted to do. So that's our major framework inside everything I do. And what we are creating for this Rise Up Men's group is, who are you, your identity, why, what is your purpose, and then how are you going to go get it done? What is your plan?
And then I think what you said pairs together so nicely, because you can do all those things, who I am, all my purpose, but then you never see a roaring fire that is an individual log. Like if you take a log out of the fire and put it off by itself, like you were saying, Drew, you just don't accomplish as much. But you put yourself in that community, in that group, you get a bunch of people who are motivating and pushing and encouraging. And all of a sudden that little spark of, oh, I'm this and I'm supposed to do this, but I have this fear, it ignites. And you're like, wait a minute, I can set that fear aside. Look at all these guys around me. How could it fail? We're going to sure have some setbacks. It won't go smooth, but we have that courage. We have that group. We have that ability to join together and push each other towards success. And I love that concept with this group.
Yeah, I think one thing that's been helpful in my personal journey is as I'm surrounded by others doing great things, it makes me feel like, oh, I can do this too. Like I could, like if he can, not to like put anyone down when I say, oh, if he can do it, I can do it. But like when I see others doing things, taking action, it like helps me believe that, hey, I've known this guy for a long time, and if he can do something amazing, like why can't I? And I think that's what's for us has been really awesome being business partners in real estate in the past up till this point, is we've seen a front row seat to each other's transformation over time. And I think oftentimes seeing Josh do big, scary things like throwing a huge event and getting the biggest, like I remember when he told me he was going to get Tim Tebow and what that was going to cost to have him come speak. I didn't say this to Josh, but I was like, you're crazy, Josh. and we almost never say anything limiting. And I didn't say it for that reason. And I was just like inspired that he went out and he made it happen. And it made me think, man, if he can go create that, like go from I'm teaching at a school to like I'm sharing a stage with someone like him and other big names, Olympic athletes, professional athletes, world-class speakers. It's like, wow, like you can really create anything. And when you see others doing that and you're around that, it makes it so much more fun to think, okay, what can I do and what would it take?
Absolutely. Yeah. So before we wrap up, again, everyone, Josh and Drew, they're organizing a group to help men to rise to a whole new level. And it's based on, let's make sure I get this right. It's fitness and family and finances and faith. And those are the 4 categories, right? I've got that right. I said it right. Didn't duplicate. And they're seeing 2026 as the year they're going to start helping transform the world through helping men live their lives more fully and with more purpose and a more abundant lifestyle in all those aspects of their life. And how do people get a hold of you two again?
Yeah, I'm the Everyday Sales Leader. You can find me on social media. Josh is the
coach's coach.
Coach's coach.
So women, if you've been watching and you're like, yeah, my husband needs that, reach out. You can give it to your husband as a gift. Or guys, if you're interested in this, reach out to these guys. They are the real deal. They're amazing. You're going to love it. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you both for coming on live and sharing your story a little bit and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.